My persuasive speech today is about trying to get everybody to agree with me about doing testing on high school athletes to college athletes to the pro athletes. I've done some research on the internet, and it is amazing the number of schools and or people that totally do not agree with the testing. But what I have found out is sooner or later we need to respond to the fact that we have an epidemic of substance abuse that is taking a real toll on the lives of the young and old in America today. Not only are the young and old men and women using alcohol and marijuana, but they're also snorting cocaine. They're also taking prescription drugs, either bought by a friend or they're stealing from their parents' cabinets. Once they're hooked, and there is no getting them off of this unless they go get some counseling or go into a rehab. This problem is everywhere, from your high school level to your big time pros. The results would be private if they done testing. The benefits of the testing, one would be a dent in the drug use, whether it be in high school level or college or even the pro level. 2, doctors and parents would be alerted to the drug use in the athletes. 3, parents and coaches could get help for the athlete to get them clean and in hopes that they would stay clean. And 4, and we would be making a statement about what it takes to be a team player. Do one's best, respect one's body, and really show up to compete. If you're high on drugs, you're not truly there, it's just the drugs that are putting you there. I feel also that the coaches and the assistant managers should also be encouraged to be tested and show their players they are clean as well. Because if the coaches and the assistant coaches aren't clean, then you wouldn't want them coaching your child. Participating in team sports is a privilege and not a right. Some feel should only be mandatory if show signs of not acting like themselves. But if they have nothing to worry about, then you have no problem taking a drug test. Anymore, jobs randomly drug tests, so I feel athletes should not be exempt either. At my place of employment, I highly encourage drug testing because you never know. And I feel that if you are not on drugs, you have nothing to worry about. On the internet, a poll was taken, unsure when, but feel was recent, that 48% agree to doing drug testing in schools on their athletes, and 52% say no. I feel we need to get these numbers changed. We need to have more that will agree to it and less that won't agree to it. In 1990, many school districts began looking into drug testing. The court upheld the constitution of drug testing student athletes in 1995. In 2002, a court expanded high school drug testing policies to include all students who participate in competitive sports. In 2008, the National Drug Test Institute, 14% of scholars had drug testing policies, or schools, had drug testing policies. 65% targeted all students. And in 2011, the University of Pennsylvania study pegged the number at 27%. The cost would be an average of $15 and $35, depending on how extensive of the test that you took. I would think most insurances would cover this, and schools could cover it because they always carry insurance on their students. Anymore, it is scary to think how many athletes are playing sports that are high on drugs. I so would not be wanting my child and or a friend of mine or their children playing sports with someone who is strung out on some type of drug. They could get hurt badly that could change their life forever. It seems we hear on the news anymore of some athletes getting into some type of trouble for alcohol and drugs. And to young children, the high school and pro athletes are their role models. I hope you would think about what I have said and we can get more schools to do drug testing, and you will side with me on this issue. If my son was playing sports, I would highly recommend that he does do a drug test. Although I know my youngest is not on drugs, he just never has anything. I mean, he has to take medicine and he hates to take it. So I think the chances of him doing drugs is very unlikely.